Hare Krishna, and welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. we are in the middle of we are in the middle of discussing. We are in the middle of basically a shloka competition that we launched a few days back, and as a result of that, we started practicing learning shlokas from 7th April onwards. We're conducting daily sessions every Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 10:30 p.m. All of us assemble on Zoom meetings, and we are trying to learn. We have wonderful leaders who are helping us recite shlokas, learn the pronunciation, understand the meanings, and and become comfortable with those shlokas. So the format of shloka contest is online. It will be done on Zoom. We'll start from 1st May onwards. Soon I will circulate forms, Google form, where you'll be asked to confirm how many shlokas you wish to chant, and accordingly, we will give slots. We'll give 15-minute slots for lesser shlokas and slightly longer slots for the those who wish to chant no more number of shlokas. The objective is to become comfortable learning shlokas and be confident in explaining its meaning and the practical application. So, as while we are discussing shlokas every day, where we are learning pronunciation, we're learning the nitty-gritties, keywords from each shloka. What we thought today can be useful to us is basically if we can learn what's how to understand these shlokas in a proper way, and so that is what we'll be trying to do today. And so one session, this session, as well as we intend to dedicate next Sunday session also for learning the what is behind these shlokas, how we can understand them more carefully, how we can learn from them better, and how we can practically apply them more and more in our life. So whatever we will discuss, I'm going to record it and share it with everyone so that all of you can revise it as well. I have also taken some notes. I'll update those notes as we go along in a Word document, the same Word document which I shared earlier for inspiring shlokas. So I'm adding some notes to it, and we'll have that shared also with all of you. Now, uh, uh, again, the whole purpose is to become more interested in learning shlokas, in learning the words of God, coming closer to Krishna. The whole endeavor is to make us more Krishna conscious, more fall in love with Krishna and his words and his instructions and his leelas and his and his glory. We just want to get attracted towards Krishna so that we can dedicate ourselves to Krishna. The whole objective is to achieve that, not to become a pandit or expert so that we can impress our neighbors, our friends, our family members that how expert we are. Well, that can be the side effect of it, but not the main purpose. If that happens, well and good, great. But even if it doesn't happen, don't worry. Krishna is watching. Krishna is sincere. Krishna is eagerly awaiting us to endeavor more on this path and come closer to him. Take one step towards him so that he can take 10 steps towards us. So with this, without further delay, let's jump right into the document, what document that I have prepared and which I wish to share with you. Okay, so here's the Word document. I made some edits in the same, so I'll share this as well with all of you as we go along. We'll do this session as well as next Sunday session. I will not be able to cover all shlokas in one session, but we'll try to cover maximum, and we'll keep it participative. What I've done is I've pulled some notes, put some notes in below each verse, and why I found it inspiring, what is special about it. We'll discuss that briefly. And while parallelly, you can also think about something like this, and on wherever whatever good points that you can contribute. We'll have someone take notes of those, and we can include those. You can include those points in your respective in the same file or in the your respective documents. You can include those additional points as well. So together we can build this kind of a document. So when we talk about Bhagavad Gita verses, what are we really talking? What are we really saying here? Not every, so we say that there are 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita starts by not Krishna speaking, Krishna uvacha, Bhagavan uvacha, wo to nahi hai. It starts with Dhritarashtra uvacha, and the first verse is spoken by Dhritarashtra, last verse is spoken by Sanjay. So these two are speakers in Bhagavad Gita. Duryodhan is also one of the speaker in Bhagavad Gita. It comes as a that his conversation comes in chapter 1. And Arjun and Krishna. The Krishna is basically introduced in the Bhagavad Gita conversation the last. The first verse is spoken by Dhritarashtra. He is responded by Sanjay. Then Sanjay starts describing what's happening on the battlefield, and he's seeing that Duryodhan is speaking with his soldiers, with his Senapati, that is Dronacharya. He's instructing Dronacharya. He's glorifying Bhishma and also motivating everyone, giving kind of pep talk, just like how it is done before games, before big games, before big wars. So and then Arjun start take over. Arjun takes over the conversation, the flow. And Arjun speaks predominantly in the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna probably has not spoken only in the chapter 1, and then the first time Bhagavan Uvacha comes in the second chapter, second verse. So uh, the Krishna, who is the main speaker, is introduced last in the flow of Bhagavad Gita conversation, but all other speakers comes in between, and then Arjun just does not stop by inquiring. He keep asking repeatedly a lot of interesting questions. So yeah. So predominantly Arjun, Krishna, they speak, and then towards in chapter 11 again Sanjay comes in and he speaks. He explains the Virata Rupa, or the universal form of Lord. He is also describing what he's seeing. Arjuna is describing what Arjuna is seeing. Again, Krishna speaks a lot there. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 concludes, Krishna concludes his instruction, and then Arjun concludes he clarified that his all his nashto moha smurtir labdhva tvat prasadam maya achyuta stitosmi gate sandeha karishye vachanam taha. And then Sanjay writes the conclusion, and the last verse, yatra yogeshwara krishna tatra tatra partha dhanurdhara. And then Sanjay concludes this in the 76th verse of the 18th chapter. The Bhagavad Gita conversation gets over. So, as we speak, all of these verses are beautiful verses, and not all of those verses are the same. All of those verses, even though they were spoken by Lord, not all those verses are same. We have to be able to learn to differentiate in these verses. So not all, when I say not all verses are same, it doesn't mean that some verses are less important and some verses are more important. All verses are important, and every verse we can study, we can go deep into the philosophical discussion for each verse, and we can draw unlimited learning out of those verses. However, from our point of view, some verses are informative verses, as we see in the chapter 1 especially, and chapter 11 also. There is a lot of information given. How is Arjuna's chariot? What are the signs of victory as they are demonstrated? So there are information. They just give information. may not may not give instruction, but give information. Everything coming from Lord, everything associated with Lord is instructive. We can learn from everything and anything. The way Lord speak, we can learn from that. The way Lord stand, we can learn from that. The way Lord eats, we can learn from that. So even if there are no direct instructions given, Lord can teach us in many ways. So even though those are informative verses, those can also be there can also be a lot of learnings that we can get out of those. Then there are some descriptive verses. A description also comes in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Sanjay actually is describing the Virata Rupa. and his description versus Arjuna's description. Both of them describe the Virata Rupa, and we can learn a lot, learn a lot about their mentality, learn a lot about their visuals, learn a lot about their own commitment to Krishna, about their bhakti towards Krishna. We then so similarly, so these are descriptive verses. So doesn't again give necessarily instructions, but we can learn from those descriptions as well. It can help us deeper insights into the situations and the people who are present in that particular situation, describing those speaking those verses. So more we understand, more we are our attraction towards Krishna increases, towards pastime increases, towards his devotee increases, towards his glory increases, towards his energies increases. Our attraction towards all of this can increase by going through these descriptive verses. So Leela is a description of pastime, and all the Leelas help us come closer to Krishna, increase our attraction towards Krishna. Then some verses in Bhagavad Gita where you will find are direct instructions, the instructive verses. Now these are direct instructions. These are obviously the most important verses because we are expected to follow them fully. So, uh, so these are again, Sarvadharman Parityajya is an instructive verse.
मी म्हणले की कुणाला खायचं खावा.
Yeah. So is a instructive one. So co-host, can you please unmute mute everyone who accidentally gets unmuted so that don't have disturbances. Okay, so these are instructive verses. There are certain instructive verses in Bhagavad Gita. Again, those are the most critical. Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja is the direct instruction. There's no if and but written there. Is he's directly giving instruction that Sarvadharman Parityajya Manmana Bhava Mad Bhava Mad Bhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskaro. So there are instructions, and there are many such instructions given by Krishna. Then there are instructions by contrast. The favorite verse is 18 point, I think 58, where Krishna says that if you become conscious of me, by my grace you will cross over all the obstacles. Machitta sarvadurgani mat prasadan tarishyati. Athachitvatvam ahankarat. But if you don't do this, na shroshyasti, na shroshyati, if you don't listen to me, vinakshati, you will get destroyed. So what we see here is contrast. If you follow my path, you will be successful. If you don't follow my path, if you don't listen to my instructions and try to do your own things, all your efforts will be vinakshati, you will be destroyed. So this is instructions by contrast. In the fourth chapter, there are verses, I think 31, 32, 38, 39. So there are 38th verse give what happens to the Shraddha, those people who have faith, what happens to those people. And 39th verse explains what happens to the Ashraddhanan, those who don't those who don't have Shraddha, what happens to them. And Krishna clearly identified that if you have faith, if you with faith, if you follow instructions, and then all you can get successful. But if you are faithless, then there is no happiness for you in this world or any other world. Similarly, in the ninth chapter, Krishna gives a lot of instructions by contrast. So if you do this, uh, the famous verse is 25th verse in the ninth chapter, where Krishna says that Yanti Devo Vrata Deva um, Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Yanti Madhyaji Jinopimam. So those who worship Devatas go to the planet of Devatas. Those who worship Bhutas will go to the planets of Bhutas, and those who worship Pitaras will go to the planets of Pitaras, and those who will worship me will come to me. So these are instructions by contrast. So Krishna is saying you should worship me. Why? There's no need for you to go to the Pitra Loka or Bhuta, the, the ghostly planets, or even Devatas planets, planets of other Devatas. You should come to me. And so this is instruction by contrast. Then there are some verses where Krishna speaks in such a way that he supersedes previous instructions. For example, a beautiful verse comes in the second chapter, 37. Hato va prapsase swargyam jitva va bhukshase mahim. Tasmat uttishta kaunteya yudhaya krute nishchaya is a verse where Krishna is speaking to Arjuna at a moment where he's motivating him even to, he's saying, even if you win, Hatova, even if you lose, if you die, Hatova, Prapsasi Swargyam, you are a Kshatriya, if you will give up your body fighting a war for righteous reason, you will attain Swarga. And Jitvava Bhokshase Mahim. If you win, you will win the whole kingdom. You will have unrivaled kingdom and you can rule the whole planet, the whole creation you can rule, all three lokas you can rule. So where is the loss? So Krishna is motivating in the so the every instruction. Now this is also instructions coming from Krishna, but but this is not the ultimate instruction coming from Krishna, because immediately the next verse Krishna says, Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jaya. So in the previous verse, he's talking about enjoying in the Swarga, or enjoying the kingdom of God, the whole of kingdom. And then immediately the next verse, labha labho jaya jayo, you treat both equally. And so immediately the next 38th verse, Krishna supersedes the previous instruction. So, so Hatova Prapsasi Swargyam is instruction coming from Krishna is very important, but it is not the ultimate instruction coming from Krishna, because immediately next verse Krishna supersedes this instruction by giving another instruction, and that is a higher instruction. Sukha dukhe samay krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yuchasa naivam papam avapsasi. So when he speaks this verse, he is not he is not, he's superseding his previous instructions. So we need to understand that that there will be a lot of such instructions appearing in Bhagavad Gita, but those are may not be the ultimate one, and Krishna ultimate ones are coming subsequently. Subsequently, Krishna will be seen um, clearly uh, supersedes or give a higher instructions which makes the previous instruction null and void. But does it, then the question might be why Krishna is given that instruction at all? Because Krishna is building the flow. Ultimately, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yoga yoga. He has to come and appear and establish the religion. Now, the religion will include, it has to be given to the entire population of the planet, of the creation, and not everyone is at same level. Not every one of us are at same level. So if you just give one instruction, sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam raja, then there will be lot of people who will say at this our current stage, at this current juncture, we are unable to do what you are saying. Then what is the way out for us? Then and then Krishna has to give instructions for them as well, so that they become, if they remain on the devotional path, they remain on the spiritual path, they don't go away from the spiritual path, they don't become atheists, they don't go on the wrong path. Krishna, we are all Krishna's children, and Krishna wants to Krishna wish good for all of us. Krishna is our well wisher, and hence Krishna is giving instructions for all of us. No matter at which stage of our devotional service we might be, no matter at uh, how far we have progressed, no matter at on the ladder of bhakti where we stand, we might be atheist, we might be theists, but we may not be believer in Krishna. We might be worshippers of demigods. We might be worshippers of ghosts. We might be worshippers of pitras. We might be worship. We might be performing yoga for getting siddhis. We might be thinking we are only gods. Whatever way our stage is, whatever our state of mind is, whatever um, our capacity to understand spiritual instruction is, Krishna is giving something for everyone. Something is being given for everything. So those who have enjoying mentality, those who are very lot of attraction towards enjoyment, for them also there is provision in Bhagavad Gita. The Ghatava Prapsasi Swargam is that verse, the verse 42, 43 in the second chapter, where Krishna speak about how you can perform yajna and enjoy kingdom of God. enjoying Swarga Loka, Sukha of Swarga Loka. But again, Krishna is superseding this instruction, that saying that anyway in the ninth chapter, 21st verse, Krishna will say that but as your credit will get exhausted, you will come back to this Martya Loka anyway. So why waste time going to Swarga Loka? Directly come back to spiritual world. And na shashanko na pavaka yat na shashankopam na pavaka, that such a world, such spiritual world where there is, which is not dependent on the energies of sun and fire. There's no sun, there's no moon, and it is vyadgatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. That dhama is a param dham, that is a superior planet, is mine as well as it is yours, because you all belong to the same planet, that where the life exists in eternity, where life exists, where the eternal, knowledgeable, blissful life exists in reality, which we are trying to create in this Martya Loka, in this Dukhalaya Ashashvatam, in this Anityam Asukham Loka. These are the descriptive words Krishna has used for our planet, and Krishna is the creator, and hence he is not lying. He knows exactly what it means, what it is all about, and therefore Krishna is not encouraging us to go to Swargaloka or create Swarga on the verse is trying to create Swarga on the planet Earth, which is supposed to be Dukhalaya Shashvatam. So Krishna says you are wasting your time doing all of that. So superseding previous instruction, so we need to understand whichever verse we must be looking at, where it falls, which category it falls into, and accordingly we should, we should understand. That will give us better understanding. धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेता युयुत्सवाः मामकाः पांडवाश्चैव किम अकुर्वन्तः संजय. So Dhritarashtra is this opening verse of Bhagavad Gita. Most of you should learn this verse, should practice this verse. Most of you would have already learned this verse and practiced it during our sessions. So what does this mean? What does it? Why it is inspiring? It speaks about the glory of Dharma Kshetra, or a place of religion, place of pilgrimage. A dham is a place where Krishna, Lord, is present and is performing pastime, or has performed pastime in past. Lord never leaves Vrindavan. So Vrindavan is a place where Lord is always present and always performing pastimes. Some are manifested to us, some are not manifested to us. Some are visible, some are not visible. Some places of pastimes are revealed to us. Some of them are not revealed to us according to, because of our lack of capacity to understand. So, but he's performing there. He is present there, and if we go and pray to him in humble, submissive mood, he's available there. Why will he not listen? He's eager to listen to us. Therefore, the places of pilgrimage, places of dharma, or places of pastime, has a lot of significance in our, and those significance, and devotees rejoice when they visit such places of pilgrimage, where places of where the Lord has personally performed pastime, where the Lord is present, and devotees feel extremely happy. It has they become so they so we go to Vrindavan, we try to perform devotional service 24 hours. 24 hours minimum time we spent in sleep and eat, but otherwise the dham is so conducive for performing bhakti, that wherever you will see Krishna. Wherever you will see, you will hear Krishna's name. Wherever you will go, you will hear Krishna's kirtan, bhajan, and wherever you will, whoever you will meet, you will speak about Krishna. It's very difficult to forget Krishna when we are present in Dham. And hence, it has very positive impact on those who are devotionally minded, those who are spiritually oriented, those who are devotees of Lord. So they become very happy by going to such places of pilgrimage. And Dhritarashtra knew that the Pandavas have this mentality. They are devotionally minded. They are dharmic. They are astic. They are not anastic. They are not nastic. They are astic. They are believers. They are blessed by various devatas. They are so they. So any place of religion, will have a positive impact on them. And opposite happens with the non-devotees. Opposite happens uh, to those who are wickedly minded, those who are envious of God, those who want to become God. In presence of God, their envy increases. Their envy increases, and they commit more offenses. And when you perform offense anywhere, it's wrong, and it will have its consequences. But when you perform offense in dham, in the dharma kshetra, it has the offenses, the effect of the offense also gets multiplied. Just like effect of your bhakti gets multiplied, your effect of offense also gets multiplied. So Dhritarashtra was obviously worried. Uh, the Dhritarashtra was the root cause of this whole war. He could have prevented this war by giving simply 5 villages to the Pandavas. But he failed in his duty as king as well as a father. As a father, his duty was to give instructions to his son, to discipline his son, to discipline the to correct, force his son to correct wrongdoings that he was indulging into. At least he could have tried from his end, but he didn't do that. Because of his excessive attachment to his son, like we have attachment to our children, and children want to play whole day, but despite of being attached to the children, despite of loving our children, we force them to study. Correct? We force them to study, and when we force them to study, no child feel very happy that you have long term benefit of me in your mind, therefore you are asking me to study, I'm very happy. No, children have no that. Children cannot think like that. Children have no capacity to think like that, so children become unhappy. So temporary unhappiness is good for their long term good. Parent understand that even if their child become unhappy temporarily, it is good for their long term. It is beneficial for it will be beneficial for them in the long run. They If they keep playing now, if they don't study, they can't get a job, they can't earn living. How will they what will they do? How will they survive in future? So a parent, despite of displeasing their child, and even at the by going at the against the wish of their child, by making their child unhappy, they force them to study, they force them to take medicine. Dhritarashtra even couldn't do that. Dhritarashtra thought of temporary happiness, the immediate happiness, the immediate unhappiness of. He didn't wanted to displease Duryodhana anyway. So he didn't wanted Duryodhana to become unhappy in any way. Therefore, he couldn't speak what was right for Duryodhana in the long run. Hence, he couldn't discipline Duryodhan. And as a result, Duryodhan did whatever he did. And as a father, Dhritarashtra was responsible for not doing his duty. Not He was not responsible for what Duryodhana was trying to do. Duryodhana has that ownership, that karma is with him. But as a father, you have to do your duty. And if you are failing to do your duty, you are also incurring sin. 2.33 is a beautiful verse which actually explains this point. And as a king, also, Dhritarashtra's duty was to protect his kingdom. He couldn't do that. He forced his whole whole army into this war for practically no reason. 5 villages he could have given. Rightfully, Pandavas completed their Vanvas and Adhyatmas. There was no reason for them to not given the Indraprastha, which originally belonged to them, which they left.
Hare Krishna Guruji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Apologies to interrupt Guruji. So voice has become a little bit low suddenly just now. Hare Krishna.
Okay, okay. Is this better? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes,
Is
Guruji.
it better?
Fine.
Okay, okay.
Yes, yes, Guruji.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. No problem. So hopefully didn't lost a lot of things, but this is Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was fearful. He was always fearful, and as Dhritarashtra is fearful, we are also fearful always. Um, we are all kind of non-devotees only. We are trying to become devotees, and hence, we live in fear. We have all kind of fears, but the moment if we become devotees, we become fearless. Not because now we have a we become we are able to take shelter of Krishna. That's why we become fearless. Not that difficult situations does not come in the life of devotees, but devotees have take shelter of Krishna. That's why they become fearless, even in the midst of all the difficulties. So this is Dhritarashtra, and this is why this verse is so crucial and so much important. Moving on, we have 25. We've been discussing 24th verse where Sanjay Uvacha, it's spoken by Sanjay. He's asking Arjuna. He's asked Arjuna had before this. Arjuna had asked Krishna to take his chariot in between two armies, so that he could have taken. He wanted to take a final look at his all those soldiers, all those who have assembled in this battlefield, um, with the equal distance. And so, Senayor Ubhayor Madhyes Ratham Sthapayitva Ratha Tamam. This is Uttama Ratha. It's not an ordinary Ratha. And where it is Sthapayata is he's having taken and he has paused. He has stopped the Rath. Where Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. Senayor in between two armies. Now, now Krishna is driving this chariot, and Sanjay is describing that how Krishna is driving this chariot, and this is where Achyuta, Arjuna referred to him as Achyuta in this while giving such instruction. And in the last verse, 18.72nd verse, also Krishna, Arjuna refers to Krishna as Achyuta. That's the concluding verse where he says that Nashto Moha Smritir Ladva Tvat Prasadan Maya Achyuta. Oh, Achyuta. Oh, in Achyuta means infallible one who never fails in his duty. And this is what Krishna has been described in this verse. Lord is always for us. Lord is, no matter how good, bad, ugly in manner we behave it, in that way we behave, Lord never gives up hope on us. Lord continues to love us. Lord continues to provide for us. Lord continues to hope that our heart will change. And Lord continues to make provision for giving us more and more opportunity to come closer to Him. So He is trying relentlessly, tirelessly to rescue us from the miseries of this material world. In the Gajendra Moksha pastime, he says, Namo Lalaya, you never get tired of trying to rescue me, O Lord. You never get tired. That you once, we get tired, right? We talk to somebody, we try to help someone, we may try once, we may try twice, thrice, 10 times, we get tired. उसको नहीं सुधरना है, क्या करे, छोड़ दो. Let me focus on someone else. But Lord, He's saying, Lord, your Achyuta is you just never get tired. You are continuing to help me. You're continuing to hope that I'm going to come to you immediately, next, tomorrow, now I will change. Till now I've been acting like a useless brat, and you know like in a miserable way I've been acting, but you are hopeful that I will change, and you are continuing to provide me with a lot of opportunities, so you are infallible. And that Lord is driving Arjuna's chariot in between two armies. So Prabhupada feels extremely happy. There are interactions between Lord and his devotees are very sweet. Nobody else can understand those, and hence, we should. That's the sweetness of Lord. Is becoming chariot driver, and driving Arjuna's chariot in between two armies, doing exactly as Arjuna is ordering him to do. Uh, Lord did not take order. Lord is always Lord, but we are you know but that is what he can do for Arjuna. He can do it for all of us as well. So while Lord is trying relentlessly for our rescue, what are we busy with? We are busy and unwilling to cooperate with him. Why? Because we have unlimited desires. We have unlimited desires for sense gratification. Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam. We have asakti towards Bhoga and Aishwarya. And hence we are unable to listen to some of the to the instructions coming from God. We are blind led. We are blinded. That's why even if mirror comes in front of us, we are unable to see who we really are. And The desires, the doubts, and the attachment for sense gratification keep us blinded. Unless we give up those, we can give up those when we come in association with devotees who can help us open our eyes, who can help us see our true nature, and who can help us come closer to Krishna. Because those are actually closer to Krishna, can help us come close to Krishna also. So that's why this verse was very important. भीष्म द्रोण प्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्येतान् समवेतान् कुरुनिति. So Krishna can be notorious. Krishna can Krishna can test us. Krishna can also test us in the most difficult way. So just while giving tests, he may not always give a most easy question to answer. He know what we have not done, and he may ask question only on that portion. It's just like exams. We generally used to prepare, right? When maybe we are not able to prepare 100% for the entire syllabus. We may have 20 chapters and we may pick 15 out of them. 15 छोड़ देंगे, बोलेंगे ऑप्शन में होपफुली आ जाएगा या ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं लग रहे, छोड़ देता हूँ. So I may prepare only for 15 chapters. Now Krishna knows which 15 chapters you have prepared and which 5 chapters you have left out. Now he is asking questions from those 5 chapters only. Why does he do that? Because he does not because he want to test his devotees, because he want to test the commitment of his devotees towards Krishna, and towards the rendering of devotional service to Krishna. So if we are resolute in our desire to render devotional service, we will render devotional service no matter what the situation is. So to test Arjuna's determination, Krishna took that chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona, and seeing them in front, Arjun melted. Arjuna simply collapsed. Had Krishna taken that chariot in front of Duryodhan and Dushasan, Arjuna could have Arjuna his anger would have increased, his desire to take revenge would have increased, and he would have acted on his own accord, and that would have been a mistake. Krishna does not want Arjuna to make that mistake. Fight war on his own accord is like a soldier fighting with other people, killing other people on his own. Now, if he does it on his own, he's not protected by the country's law. But if he fight and kill people on behalf of his country, he's even rewarded for doing the same thing. Similarly, Krishna does not want Arjuna to do anything on his own, which can actually lead to karmic reactions. So Krishna want Arjuna to fight war as a devotional service, and hence he took that chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona, and seeing them in front, Arjuna simply melted and gave up his desire to fight and kill his beloved people. This way, a situation got created, and where the Bhagavad Gita knowledge can be spoken to Arjuna and to all of us, so that we can be also woken up from our slumber. We are all like sleeping souls in the lap of Maya, and this knowledge can awaken us, and that's how the Krishna is creating opportunity to speak this knowledge during the course of war. Next verse is 28th verse, where Arjuna said that, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relative present before me in such a fighting spirit, I felt the limbs of my body quivering and mouth drying up. Mind go out of control. When mind goes out of control, the strongest can become the weakest and can start crying. We have seen that in our own life, where where our when those who are unable to control their no matter how big they become, they fall down. They can fall down, and miserable things can happen to such people who are unable to control their mind. So, uh, so how do we control this invisible subtle muscle that exists inside us? We don't even know where it is. We don't even know how big or small it is. We don't even know how it looks like. And definitely we have means to clean it or to control it, other than chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this mind can only be uh, delivered with the help of when it is getting connected with Krishna. The way to connect our mind with Krishna is by chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. By doing so with sincerity, we are able to, we are allowing, we are expressing our desire to Krishna to cleanse our mind. And when Krishna enters our mind, when Krishna gets connected with our mind, Krishna enters our mind, it's like sun ray entering into a dark room. The moment sunlight comes to the dark room, the andhakar, the darkness disappears without any effort. Similarly, if we connect, if we can somehow or other, if we are able to connect our mind with Krishna, if we can think of Krishna, if we can get attracted towards Krishna, if we can develop some attraction towards Krishna, the andhakar of other things, other nonsensical things will disappear. Just like when sun rises, the darkness disappears. Surya, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Andhakar. Jahan Krishna Tahanai Mahayara Adhikar. Mahaprabhu says this, that Krishna Surya Sama is like, Krishna is like a sun, and blazing sun, wherever he is present, darkness cannot exist. So we have to, if we have to protect ourselves from falling prey to our own mind's trick, we have to bring Krishna into our mind. We have to connect our mind with Krishna. And Mahaprabhu says the best way to connect our mind with Krishna, cleanse our mind with Krishna. Cheto Darpana Marjana. The only way it can happen in Kali Yuga is by, not by performing tapasya, by going to Himalaya, not by uh, performing asanas, not by going away from your family, not by giving up your family responsibilities, and but by simply chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, in humble, prayerful service attitude mood, and performing devotional service to Lord. So by simply doing chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can be rescued. We can, this mantra itself is sufficient to take us back to Krishna. Prabhupada writes on multiple occasions in the purports of Bhagavad Gita, he confirms this again and again. So, Gandiva. The whole body is quivering, trembling, and the hair is standing on end, and my Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and the skin is burning. Now, this is again very significant. Gandiva is, Krishna had taken a vow, Arjuna had taken a vow that whoever will suggest or ask me to keep aside my Gandiva, I will never keep aside my Gandiva. I will, Gandiva bow is mine and I will always carry it. Whoever will even suggest me to keep away that Gandiva, give up that Gandiva, I will kill them. And in the war, it so happened that Yudhishthir was fighting a battle with Karna that time, and Yudhishthir was overpowered by Karna's might, and Karna actually defeated Yudhishthir. He injures him in bad way, and then he says, "You go back now. You are, I can't. I don't want to kill you because you have lost your weapons. You have nothing to fight with, and so you go and get um, collect all your weapons and come back again tomorrow. We will continue, resume with our fight." It's such a bad way he gets defeated, and he comes back to his shibir, his camp. And Arjuna hears this while fighting on the battlefield some other way, and then he rushed back to the camp and asked Yudhishthir what happened. And Yudhishthir, seeing Arjuna, he thinks that Arjuna must have heard the news that of how badly Karna injured Yudhishthir Maharaj, and Arjuna must have gone and killed Karna and taken revenge, and must have come to me after that, after taking such revenge. So he presumed that, and then he asked, "Have you killed Karna?" Arjuna said, "No, I heard the news and I was worried about you, so I came rushing directly to the camp. I never went to battlefield, and I never contested with Karna. I didn't saw him there, and neither I endeavor also." Hearing this, Yudhishthir Maharaj becomes very angry. He said, "What is the use of your Gandiva? You're carrying a Gandiv Dhari Arjun, सब बोल रहे हो आप. you heard this and you came running here. You should have gone and killed Karna and then come to me. So Yudhishthir Maharaj spoke this, and Arjuna becomes extremely angry. He said, "You know my vow, right? You should have never spoken like this. So I've taken a vow that I will kill anyone who will even suggest that I should give up Gandiva. I should give up my Gandiva bow. I should not have done that." And then Krishna intervenes. Krishna intervenes and says that you insult Yudhishthir. You insult Yudhishthir Maharaj for whatever he has done, and insult, Krishna says, is worse than a death for a kshatriya. So it is as good as death, as good as killing Yudhishthir Maharaj. So you don't have to physically kill him, but you insult him. And then Arjun insults. Arjun speak a lot about how Yudhishthir couldn't control his urge to play the gambling match, how he betted on all his brothers and his wife, and he speak all of that, and uh, then falls at his feet and beg for forgiveness. So that is the significance of Gandhivdhari Arjun. Arjun, he couldn't even spare his elder brother, whom he loved so much, that he had to insult him to and then beg for forgiveness. But so that was the significance. But he couldn't tolerate anybody giving him instruction, suggesting him to give up his Gandiva bow, and that bow is now slipping away from his hand. He never wanted to do that, and that's slipping away from his hand. That is the significance of the Gandiva bow slipping away. We may feel कि थोड़ा दुखी होने के बाद तो चीजें गिर जाती है हमारे हाथ से. What's a big deal? But it's a big deal. Gandiva bow slipping away from Arjuna's hand is a big deal. He was prepared to kill his elder brother for suggesting to give up Gandiva bow. That is the significance of Gandiva bow. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. Now this is again beautiful verse. It's very important in our life. We understand that we act in such a way, in certain way, expecting certain things, but we get the opposite of that, and that's quite often happens in our life. It's not once, but multiple occasions it happens in our life, and still we don't learn the lesson that this is dukhalaya shashvatam. We study hoping we'll get a great job and we have a prospering career, but when we study, end of our job, end of our education, we become engineer, we become doctor, we struggle in big way. And what to speak of commerce graduates and arts graduate and others who don't properly study. uh, Despite of taking taking education from the best of the institutes, we struggle to get a decent job and earn nice money. We get married hoping we'll enjoy life, and we struggle there as well. you know um uh, the post-marital issues are on their all-time growth. um, you know Not all are, or most marriages are rather unhappy, are not very happy places. um, so far from happiness. People become more miserable than they were after getting married. If you get married with the wrong consciousness, this is what will happen to you, and that's what is happening to everyone. We have kids thinking that we will have great time. A princess is born in our family. A prince is born in our family, and that prince and princess, they start showing their true colors when they're nice till the age of 4 and 5, and then they become notorious by the age of 8, 9, 10, and become a headache by the time they become comes to their teens and become younger. So none of the things that we did with our original intention, turns out in that way. So nimitta nicha Pashyami viparitani cha Keshava. Viparitani Keshava. Whatever I'm thinking, the opposite of that is happening, and I'm forced to accept that result. Very rarely things happen according to our expectation. And Arjuna is actually saying that I came to this war thinking I will I will be firing all cylinders. I'll be fired up for fighting to take revenge for insulting my family, my wife, my mother, my brothers, for sending us to forest, by cheating us in a gambling match, by 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 making every attempt to kill us at various junctures, and by insult us by various ways, and by snatching away our rightful kingdom that we had earned. Indraprastha, you have done enough for me to be revengeful, to feel like taking revenge, but he's saying viparita ho raha hai mere saath. I am actually experiencing that. Why am I fighting? Why am I here? What am I doing? Why should I kill? Why should I kill for enjoying kingdom, some piece of land? Why I can't go to forest and beg and live, spend rest of my life in that way? Why should I participate in this bloodbath? Why should I become nimitta for the killing of these so many people? So multiple ways, Arjuna's emotions were telling him the opposite of what he think he will get or he should have had. So nimittani cha pashyami viparitani keshava. And we should be able to see this virodhabhas, bolte हैं virodhabhas, this opposite effect. This virodhabhas we should also be able to easily see in our life. At the end of chapter 1, we will pause and we will see if anybody has any questions on this, and then we will proceed, or any additional comments to make. So please keep thinking. Don't just listen. Please keep thinking, and please let's speak. Let's hear from you as well as we move along. तं तथा कृपया विष्टमश्रुपूर्णकलेक्षणं विषादिन् विषिदन्त इदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदन. We are on second. Oh, yeah, we are moving to the second chapter anyway. So let's pause here. Uh, let's pause. We've concluded discussions on the chapter verses from chapter 1, and we've given some perspective. As I said, it's not the only perspective. This might be one of the perspective. This can, as you think along side this, you can get more and more views and more insights into these verses, and the purport itself provide a lot of information additional to what we have spoken so far. But let me just pause here and see if anybody has any questions or any comments or any additions to whatever we have spoken from chapter 1 verses. You can,
Yes, Prabhuji, can I say?
yes, Mataji.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, out of all these verses, whatever you just explained so beautifully, what is the actual learning that we need to follow? One is Mahamantra, yes, but with Mahamantra, we think we don't get the answers to our questions. So please enlighten us with this. Like,
Correct.
how do we, yeah.
So thanks Mataji for this wonderful question. So as we are preparing background, the the learning verses will follow. Currently, so this chapter is used predominantly to set the background, set the backdrop against which the Bhagavad Gita will be spoken. So becoming aware of our problematic situation is itself the first step towards resolving the problem. Becoming aware of our problematic situation is step 1 towards resolving the problem. The solutions will come in the subsequent parts of Bhagavad Gita, but this chapter actually makes us aware of how problematic our situation is. And if we become ignorant to that itself, then we will never have willingness to take any treatment, to make any corrections. So currently, whatever the verses that we have seen, the few learnings is Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. We should increase our association with such places of pilgrimage. Then, like that, we can draw some learnings out of all of these. But primarily, this chapter serves the purpose of setting the scene, and and giving us a background where we become aware of our problematic situation. Okay. And then we become open and willing to follow instructions that are coming subsequently.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Got it.
And Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Kanchan Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have 2 points to share. I don't know it will be at par with your knowledge, but that's just trying to attempt. Um, First one is when we remembered the first sloka, Dharam Kshetra Kurukshetra. As you said, whenever we hear the names of some dham, we see a picture of that dham. So mentally we are reaching there. That itself is a uh, higher level of enlightenment for us. That whenever we read the names or learn the names like Vrindavan, Kurukshetra, we virtually reach there. In our mind, we reach there. So that way it is yes important. Secondly, as Mataji said, what we should learn from this is, as per my thoughts, I think that we should learn that whenever we are into difficult situations, we can reconcile how Krishna is taking or leading the way for Arjuna to at least understand what the real challenge is or what the real issue is, and for the Arjuna to accept that yes, he is into a trap or he is into a problem, and now he is looking for an answer, and he need to surrender. So whatever situations we go across, we should reconcile in such a way that yes, Krishna will lead us. We just have to reconcile and understand why certain things are happening in our life and what it will lead us as if we follow the Mahamantra practice and the devotion towards Krishna.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Very nice points. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yes, Vikas Roji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. So, as you mentioned it very beautifully, but one point came to my mind for my own clarification that as it starts with the Dhritarashtra and the literal meaning, as once His Grace Narottam Priya Prabhuji mentioned, that Dhritarashtra is one who is holding the Rashtra. So, we are also holding our attachments. And that is why we are expressing it in the way that Mamka and Pandavas Cheva, that something belongs to me and something belongs to others. And that is why we cannot come to the Dharma Kshetra. And the Mahamantra that does is that it takes us to that equilibrium that nothing belongs to me. And so, what is the point in holding it back? And so, I must take shelter of the Dharma Kshetra, which is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And in that way, maybe we can try to apply. So, that just came to my mind. Hopefully, I don't know whether I'm correct on this. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Paroj, that's also a correct viewpoint. And definitely very nice point. Yeah. So as we said, Dhritarashtra is is basically mm, is basically aham, basically I, me, myself, and that's how you make the distinction between. That's how he made distinction between Mamaka Pandavaschaiva, my sons and Pandu's sons. So that's what we are doing. We are connecting ourselves at a bodily level. Therefore, we are always seeing things in that way. This is mine and that is yours. So that's how. So mm, this feeling of just forgetting the word, but this aham feeling itself is a root cause of our problems. That's how we are unable to see Lord's hand in everything. But thank you so much for bringing out that point. We'll go to the chat box. Someone is sharing some comments. Yes, Dhritarashtra was he responsible for the war? Yes, Prabhuji. And the situations were created in such a way that everyone was responsible, but Dhritarashtra also was responsible. And the primary responsibility ultimately, unfortunately, fell on his shoulder because as a king, he had opportunity to intervene and give 5 villages to Pandavas, which could have avoided the war. One may say this as a pastime that Krishna wanted to kill so many people, and so many people had assembled in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So, and if he wanted to kill, how he could have avoided, how Dhritarashtra could have avoided, and that's precisely the argument that Dhritarashtra actually tried to use when Vidur was advising him that if the war were to take place, if war happens, uh,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Apologies again to interrupt. Maybe that mouthpiece has gone a little bit far, so sound has reduced. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, is this better?
Yes, Prabhuji.
It may
Yes,
be
Prabhuji.
because of internet issue, but let's hope that it stays good. But so Vidar, the Dhritarashtra actually argues this way that if God or Almighty wants to have everyone killed, who am I to stop? Who am I to stop that? Now it's not a question. So to that extent, his argument may sound good. That if Krishna wanted to kill all of these people, he would have killed them anyway. And but Dhritarashtra unfortunately became nimitta for the same by not doing his duty as a king. Uh, he as a king he could have easily given up the Indraprastha because it actually belonged to before the gambling match. It belonged to Pandavas. Pandavas were ruling that, and they completed the terms of the gambling match which they lost. They lived in forest for 1 year, 13 years, and then they completed Agyatwas. Agyatwas, the truth was Arjuna actually got a body of a Brahmana, neither male nor female, and his body became male body on the conclusion of that 1 year when he single-handedly defeated the entire Kaurava army. He couldn't have done that with Brahmana's body. And by that time, the time of 1 year had elapsed, and therefore they fulfilled the condition. And of Agyatwas also. And that's the testimony. So there were enough evidences which suggested that Pandavas, having lost the match, having completed the their terms of their vanvas, completed, they were rightful owners of the Indraprastha, which they lost in a gambling match, which was also which was also won by Duryodhan through cheating. But whatever that cheating also, but ultimately they won. They completed the condition, so they were rightful claimant of the Indraprastha, which Duryodhan refused. Now, when Krishna came as a Shanti Dut, he asked for 5 villages. Now, those also Dhritarashtra could have intervened and handed over those to Pandavas. That also could have avoided war. But he refrained from doing his duty as a in either way, and therefore, unfortunately, he ended up taking the whole blame on his head for the war were to happen. Was he compelled? He was not compelled. He was compelled by his affection towards Duryodhan, not by any other male. He could have given up that those 5 villages, and the war might have still happened. But then at least he would not have become responsible for that war. So if Lord wanted to kill, he would have killed those soldiers anyway. And but then he could have thought of some other ways and means of doing it. He could have made somebody else nimitta for the same. But Dhritarashtra became nimitta by his own wrongful actions. That's how. That's why he unfortunately became the nimitta for the war. Swapnil Prabhuji, you have any question
Hare
related?
Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you
Yeah.
for.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, first of all. Prabhuji, while listening and while understanding Mahabharata, so it's a great epic, but was Mahabharata unevitable? That's what, because we see there were a lot of opportunities given to Kauravas with respect to avoiding the war. But when we talk about Dhritarashtra, he's been blamed for maybe he could not come over the attachments and his desires, but that fueled the entire other say. But was Mahabharata unevitable? Can we say that, or it could have been avoided? Or because if we would have been avoided, probably the episode of Shri Krishna giving Arjuna the the knowledge wouldn't have never surfaced. So was it that that was all the purpose of God, who has created the events and that got unfolded eventually, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
So was it completely pastime, or was it really a result of wrongful actions that were done? So if we even if we look back at Krishna fourth chapter beginning, he says that I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan. So we understand that this was not a freshly concocted knowledge. This knowledge always existed. But sakale neha mahta yogo nashta parantapa. In the course of time, this knowledge got lost. So it's not that there was no war. When this knowledge was given to Sun God, there was no reference to a Mahabharat war happening there at that time. When Sun God, this knowledge was given to Sun God, and as a result of this knowledge, sun god fought some war and so many people got killed. There is no reference to that. First of all, this knowledge is not knowledge to fight a war. This knowledge is knowledge that God exists, God loves us, and we should love him back. This is a song of love more than a song of more than a war cry, or where where it's simply the whole objective is to make our soldiers passionate, bring them into the mode of passion so that they can fight war with all their rigor. This is not a motivation for fighting a war. This is a motivation to love Krishna. A song that should motivate us to love and serve Krishna. So the objective is not war, is a byproduct of the whole thing. So when this was given to sun god, there was no reference to God. Sun god gave it to his son. He gave it to his son. There is no references of war. So this knowledge is of love. The love to love and serve Krishna. Knowledge should enable us to love and serve Krishna. Arjuna's service included fighting a war because he was a Kshatriya. Our service could be to distribute Bhagavad Gita. Our service to connect could be to connect more and more people to Krishna consciousness, to the instructions of Bhagavad Gita through calling, through other means, to conducting online seminars, to conducting physical seminars, to open temples, so give more opportunity to people to come and learn Bhagavad Gita. So our so what we do as a result of our learning Bhagavad Gita will be different according to our time, place, circumstance, and according to our nature, our dharma, our Kshatriya dharma. If we are a Kshatriya, if we become Krishna conscious, we will help open more and more temples in the using our administrative influence. So what happens subsequent to the knowledge is dependent on dependent on the time, place, circumstance. But it was not a war cry, as they say. It was not The purpose was not to make Arjuna become angry to fight a war which lasted for 18 days and killed millions and millions of people. This is a song of love. And Arjuna's service, loving service, included fighting a war. And that it was just a byproduct of that. So this epic could have happened anyway, and it is a result of right and wrong choices made by different people. And we can see that from our own life as well. We've done in our life, hopefully some of us might have done some miserable thing. I have done many miserable things in my life, and when I look back, uh, as if I was forced to act in the wrong way, I was acting in that particular moment. But when I look back, I feel foolish. I should have never done like that, anything like that. And but that moment, I was compelled to do in that way. I saw no other alternative, as if, and hence I was acting in that particular way. It is not that uh, that knowledge now, I could have changed my behavior then. So we go through our life, and when we look back at our life, we also feel many of such circumstances where we could have acted differently if having what we know today. But that's how it is. That's how things are. And when we are under the influence of our modes of nature, it we hardly are able to. Uh, we are hardly able to. We just get blinded by them, and that's how we end up doing a lot of things which we regret later. So this is one of those things. So let's move on with the chapter 2 was discussion. Sanjay Uvacha eva mukto ऋषिकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारतसेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम्. That Sanjay is saying, oh, descendant of Bharata, having thus been
Hare,
adjured by
Hare
Arjuna.
Krishna, Guruji.
Hello?
Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Hare
Sorry
Krishna?
to interrupt, Guruji. We did this, Guruji. This is first chapter, and
Okay, okay,
we
yeah,
are
yeah.
on the same. Yes,
So,
yes,
so
Guruji. Hare
sorry.
Krishna.
Yeah, we are on the first verse of second chapter, right? Yeah, tam tatha krupayavishtam ashrupunaikalakshanam vishitintamidam vakyam uvacha madhusudanaha. Okay, so now here the Sanjay is saying that now this is again second chapter, first verse is spoken by Sanjay. Sanjay is saying that seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana Krishna spoke the following words. Now this is where Krishna is actually going to speak for the first time in Bhagavad Gita. Now Arjuna's condition is described and does not befit a warrior. Arjuna was a Kshatriya. Arjuna was a Atirathi. He could fight many warriors at same time. He was the most, he was the champion warrior, undefeated champion warrior of his time, as good as Bhishma and Drona, or even superior to Bhishma and Drona as well, in many ways, in some ways. So Arjuna was not an ordinary character. The whole war was dependent um, on his fighting or not fighting, or his winning or not winning on very many important battles. So and that Arjuna was guided by Krishna, who was present as chariot driver in his chariot, and that is his condition. When we become a vimukha is when we turn away from God. When we turn away from God, and we try to do things on our own. This is what happens to us. This is what can happen to us when we ignore God, when we turn away from God, and when we try to do things on our own, this is what will happen to us. So, seeing Krishna in this condition, Krishna is going to Arjuna in this condition. Krishna is going to give him a pep talk because this is not this is miserable condition, but this is not surrendered condition. Krishna is still waiting for Arjuna to surrender so that he can begin his instructions. The first two verses, Krishna speaks, Kututsva Kashmilamidam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna is like a pep talk given by Krishna to Arjuna. He's not really giving instructions, but he's saying, if you cry like this, what will happen to your Kirti? You are a famous champion warrior of our time, and what will people say? That Arjuna, when the most crucial time, the most crucial war of his lifetime were to begin, Arjuna failed in his duty. Arjuna failed in his duty as a Kshatriya, as a as a as a brother, as an elder brother, as a warrior, all kind of duties he failed and became miserable. And that Arjuna will lose his kirti. For a Kshatriya, uh, losing kirti is again as good as death. So Arjuna, Krishna is reminding Arjuna that not to become vulnerable, not to become vulnerable to the miseries that are overcoming, taking his mind and reducing him to such a miserable condition that he's sitting in his chariot, crying, refusing to fight, saying that I have no strength left in my body to fight. How can I fight in this condition? And don't want to fight. I won't. Next couple of verses, he'll say, I'll go beg and live, but I don't want to fight. I don't want to kill all these people. No, overcame by grief, by misery, completely lost all his composure. The second 62, 63 verse where Krishna will describe how this downfall happens, and everything. Whatever was described in this verse has happened in case of Arjuna, and Arjuna is reduced in the pool of material misery, and that's what he's reduced to. So again, Klaibam Asmagama Partha Netatva Yupapadyate Kshudram Hridaya Draubalyam Tyaktotashta Parantapa. Uh, Clybium is in the he became Brahmanada. Lord is hitting where it hurts the most. Can he do it with us? Well, he can, but he will not. Knowing our capacity, he will not. So he can do that with superior devotees, and because he know that they will thrive, they will survive. If we do it with us, we will be lost. We cannot survive. We cannot tolerate. We cannot. We are not so strong enough. But Krishna is hitting where it hurt the most. And Arjuna's for that 1 year when he's a Purusha, and for a Kshatriya, um, to 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 take that to enter a body of a Brahmana was a misery, was a miserable condition, and he survived and lived in that miserable condition for 1 year. And because of he had a curse when he visited Svargaloka. One Apsara wanted to associate with him, and he refused because she already had associated with Shantanu Maharaj, who is Arjuna's forefather. So Arjuna was looking at her more from that point of view, but she was attracted to the Arjuna's beauty. And when Arjuna refused to associate with her, she cursed him that you are acting like a like a transgender, and you will become one transgender. And with Indra's request, she reduced her curse to 1 year time, and which became to the Arjuna's rescue when he became Brahmanada for 1 year. And Arjuna and Bhima, all of those were so tejasvi that they couldn't hide. And Agyatvas is somewhere you have to hide yourself. So Arjuna actually became Brahmanada, actually became a transgender, and then that's how he could become Uttara's dance teacher. He was teaching her dance, and he was actually in that miserable condition for 1 year. So a curse, if you are taken sufficient shelter of Krishna, a curse, a miserable condition, everything can come to our rescue. Krishna may arrange things in such a way that the seemingly miserable condition, seemingly uh, curse, can also rescue us, can also become, can also help us to come closer to Krishna. We never know how Krishna can navigate through our life in such a way that we come closer to Krishna. And sometimes he may use chocolates, just like how we give chocolate to children to help them study. Krishna can also give us some things that we want, and sometimes he will take away whatever we want. He can act in multiple ways, but his curse can also help us come closer to him. So if we haven't taken good shelter of Krishna, we should not get bewildered by our conditions. Whatever is coming to us, we should have firm faith that Krishna is navigating our life now. Krishna is in charge of our life right now. So whatever he is think that is fit to us, fit for our progress in spiritual life, Krishna will provide us with the same. And without doubting Krishna, we should wholeheartedly embrace Krishna. And whatever situation that he is putting us into, we should continue to service Krishna, continue to serve Krishna in wholehearted way. Do our part and then leave the rest to Krishna to figure out. Now Arjuna is going to surrender in the seventh verse to Krishna, and he's asking instructions, multiple learnings, multiple points that having realized our miserable condition, we should not. We should find devotees and surrender to them and ask for instructions. So we should do what Arjuna did. We should to one way is where we look around you and look around your contact list and look around the people around you, in the marketplace, in your home, in your office, in your neighborhood, in your relatives, among your relatives. You'll see that you'll realize that a lot of these people don't even know that they are suffering. A lot of those people simply are living life at the bodily level. They have no idea about anything about the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. They have no idea that they have been caught up into the cycle of birth and death, which they are taking repeatedly changing bodies. And because they are unaware, they are not able to open. They are not open for any corrections, any treatment. Unless a patient become convinced that he is sick, he will never go to a doctor and start taking treatment. So here, most of the people around us are not even aware about their sickness. What to speak of, going to a doctor and seeking treatment. So some who become aware that there is something wrong with them, they try to self-correct themselves. They try to self-treat themselves. And again, that's a long drawn process. It's not easy. So best is to go to expert. Best is to go to an expert and seek help. So best way for us to go to devotees and seek help so that they can connect us with Krishna. A devotee who is acting like a guru in our life is guru. By guru, when the word guru itself means heavy. He will be heavy on us. He will be telling us to do things which will make us uncomfortable, but we should still do those because those are good for us. He should be able to take things away from us, those who are becoming an obstacle between us and Krishna. He should be able to remove those things from us, make us free from those things, and he should be able to give us Krishna. So, by giving us Krishna, by engaging us in the devotional service, that person is actually bringing us closer to Krishna. So that's where we should be eternally grateful to such person. We should never leave the instructions of the such person, and we should try to follow the instructions of such persons to the best of our ability with all our sincerity. For that to happen, we must become humble. We must become humble and develop a sense of gratitude towards them. And then we should do it with all our ability, with all our sincerity. A lot to learn. This is the first step we can all take towards becoming a devotee, towards implementing the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. एवं उक्त्वा ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तपः न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तृष्णि बहुवमः बभूवः. Seeing his friend in the miserable condition, crying, um, Krishna becomes Prahassa Niva Bharata. He is going to become a little happy because now he's going to speak. In the 10th verse, Krishna says the Prahassa Niva, as if he's happy. But he's now going to speak Bhagavad Gita. Now Arjuna has been reduced to a condition where he's inquiring, asking for instructions. And this is perfect moment. This is a perfect question in answer to which perfect knowledge can be now given by Krishna. So, अशोचानन्वशोचत्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाससे गतासु न गतासुश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडितः. Krishna is again becoming heavy. He's becoming his guru. He's changing his roles. He's taking position of a guru, and uh, a real guru will be heavy. A real guru will not pamper us. He will not say anything you do, all right. They are not real guru. They will not be real guru. They cannot be real guru. A real guru has to give us knowledge, give us gyan, give us and take us away from our habits which are preventing us from learning that knowledge. So guru will be heavy, and Krishna becomes heavy in this particular verse. That saying, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So, Pandita, you're talking like a Pandit, but you're actually foolishly talking. You're talking foolishly, and that's what Krishna Krishna scolds Arjuna in that way, and Arjuna get a shock. It's just woken up. So what are you saying, Madhusudana? ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हो आप कि क्या भीष्म और द्रोण are they not worthy? Are they not worthy people? are they not worthy of my lamentation? If they are going to die in this battle, are they not worthy of me lamenting for? But so why are you saying like this? So Arjuna get shaken up, by hearing this verse. The another verse, beautiful verse. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayam atah param. Krishna is begin his instruction, and the whole worry about was about killing. The whole question was about killing, and killing and losing people. Losing people, they will be lost. I'll lose them. What will happen to them? And that's what our worry is. We worry about our loved ones. Now Krishna is going to speak that knowledge that all the movies in Bollywood were end up with a slogan that and they lived happily ever after. This happily ever after doesn't exist in this world, but it exists in the its spiritual world. And Krishna is going to say that all of these kings, they used to exist in past, they exist today, and they will continue to exist in future also. None of them will cease to exist, which means they will continue to exist in their future as well. So, eternity is a feature associated with spirit soul. By nature, spirit soul is eternal. A circle is circular by nature. We can't draw a square circle. If it's square, it's not circle. If it is circle, it cannot be square. So a soul, a spiritual spark, just like Krishna is also Sat Chit Ananda, is eternal, is full of knowledge and always blissful, always desiring to be blissful. So it's a very beautiful verse, very key verse that Krishna reminds Arjuna of the eternal nature of the spirit soul. Now, he's not spoken about soul here directly. He will speak about that in the indirect way. Dehi no. Dehi no means the one who is in possession of a deha. Who is in possession of deha? Spiritual soul, spiritual spark, spirit soul, my spirit soul, me, who is me, is in possession of my deha. And you all are possession of your own respective bodies. Now, all of you individually are spiritual sparks, and all of you individually have certain desires, or there is no homogeneity between us. Soul, when all souls come out of their respective bodies, they will continue to have their own mind, their own desires, their own bodies, their own individuality that will never get merged. With it will never become one. It will continue to We will continue to have our own desires to love and serve Krishna. We will continue to have our own ways and means of loving and serving Krishna. And that is how Krishna will reciprocate with each spirit soul in its individual way. So this Dehino is the one who is in possession of Deha. Smin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantar praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. Krishna is saying you become dhira, O Arjuna, uh, and don't get bewildered by change. Change on what? Change in current life also. All of us would have changed multiple times, from boyhood to youth to old age. All of us could be in different stages of in our life, and all of us have gone through those changes. We see our picture in the childhood, in our boyhood, in our youth, and then in our old age. All are different. Not just at a bodily level we are changing, but everything is changing. All cells in our body actually changes over time. So we are changing body even in one lifetime. We don't give up body, but we change body. And eventually we will give up body as well. This body, when it will become old and useless, we will give it up as well and come then enter into the womb of another mother to get altogether a new body. Enter into the womb of another mother to get altogether a new body. ये करंट बॉडी कितना हम रिप्लेस कर करके चलाएंगे? इवेंचुअली वी विल रिक्वायर अ न्यू बॉडी बिकॉज आवर डिजायर्स आर लिमिटलेस, एंडलेस, unlimited. So in order to fulfill those desires, uh, in order to work on those desires, we need better resources, and body is a primary resource using which we are trying to fulfill all our desires, all our sensual cravings. So we, at some stage, we will, our present body no longer support our our desires, and then hence we want to give up our body. Soul has to give up a body so that he can continue his journey with a new body. It's like if you're traveling from Bombay to Delhi, if your car breaks down in between, say at Indore, your Delhi is still far away and you want to continue, you have a desire to go there, so you don't want to give up the journey, but at the same time you can't continue with your present car. What you would do? Take another car, give up existing car, enter into another car and continue with your journey. The fresh car, the new car will be more powerful, could be more, you'll be able to drive faster, you'll be able to fulfill your desires in much better way. So and that is what you want. That is what really you want. You least care about your you're, you're least bothered about the car, the old car which you have given up. You, when while you're proceeding towards Delhi, you're not thinking about what happened to that old car. Somebody would have taken it to the garage and broken it and sold it in different parts, or could have crushed it into a bhangar. You don't care, you, because now you got a new car and you're again going with full speed to New Delhi, towards Navi Delhi, to fulfill their desires there. So, uh, so that's how our condition is. That's what we have been doing, and that's what when that happens, should we really lament or should we not lament? So Arjuna has been asked to not lament. Don't get bewildered by such a change. It's not a question of lamentation is being discussed, but he said don't get surprised by that change. And when we don't get surprised by such a change, we can manage that change. When we are not overwhelmed by such a change, we are able to manage such change. We are able to do things when such change is happening in somebody else's life in such a way that um, they can even that they can instead of getting another car, they just get airlifted and taken to the complete to the spiritual world, so that they should stop these endeavors out all completely. If you are bewildered by death occurring, if you're not knowledgeable about Bhagavad Gita, if you have no knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, you will get bewildered by the falling away of your body. When the death occurs to anyone, our loved ones, multiple bodily organs start failing one after another, and the body is reduced in an extremely miserable condition, just become a lump of meat, um, and bones. Flesh and bone, it just become a lump of flesh and bone and blood. And such a person at that stage is, if one is unaware of what is happening with the body really, one will, unless one is aware what is happening with the body, one will not be able to provide help to such a person. Now, such person needs help. When he's dying, he needs help. He definitely needs medical help. Whatever we can do medically to revive and survive, help that person survive, should be should be done. But moreover, such person needs spiritual help also, because some stage he will give up his body. And while giving up his body, if he can remember Krishna, he can go to Krishna. And a person can think of that only if he is not bewildered by the change happening. Most of the people get bewildered, get confused with how can their body break down? How can the body of their loved ones be falling apart? What my doctors are doing? Why doctors are not able to save my loved one? Why are they why it's happening to us, why it's happening to me, why I never, it's, some people may die young, some people may die old, but when we are attached, overly attached to people, we are unable to think of their good. Uh, and the good for such a person who is about to leave his body is to remember Krishna. And if a person who is not bewildered by this change um, can help such person remember Krishna, can do things in such a way that person can get remembrance of Krishna. A devotees, that's why when people give up bodies, devotees give up bodies, they are surrounded by other devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna. Such devotees are given, the Lord's prasad. They're given jal, Ganga jal. They are given jal from Radha Kund, so that they remember Krishna. And in the last moments, they give up their body remembering Krishna. And if they give up their body in such a way, Krishna says in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that they will attain Krishna without a doubt. And when they attain Krishna, they don't come back in this material world. They escape. They go out of uh, they go out of the cycle of repeated birth and repeated death. That is the significance of death. And anyone who is able to handle death properly, he has to be, only devotees will be able to handle the death event of death properly, because they are not only, they are aware of the body, they are detached from the body, but they are attached to Krishna. If you just become detached from body, but if you're not attached to Krishna, you cannot think of Krishna. But if you're attached to Krishna and you're detached from your body, whenever the body is falling apart, bodily organs are shutting down, a body is reduced to a flesh and bone and blood, a bag, you're still able to remember Krishna. And when it is happening with our loved ones, we are able to give them remembrance of Krishna, so that they get better destination in subsequent life. If they are merciful, Krishna is merciful, they can actually go back to Krishna, or at least they can get better destination in their next life, where they can continue with the bhakti and perfect their life in the subsequent lives. मात्रा स्पर्शासु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदः अगमा पाइनो नित्यस्तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत. But this is not easy. We have a body, and we will, even if with knowledge, we have to act at the level of body. And at that time, we will go through situations which can produce miseries as well. Shit Ushna, Shit Ushna. Some pleasing experiences will come, and some unpleasing experiences we might get subjected to. And during the course, understanding our purpose, during the course, whenever such event arises, a person who is in knowledge will tolerate them. But tolerance, so this is the instruction for tolerance. But it's not the first thing that we have to do. We have to accept every situation. If it is good, bad, ugly, we should know why they are happening. Um, and they happen to us because of our own past karma, so we have to tolerate them. But tolerance, as I said, is not the first instruction, is the last instruction. First, we have to accept the situation. Whatever the situation we are into, we have to accept it. We have to mitigate the situation. We have to do what best we can do to improve our current situation. And despite of all that, if the situation remains miserable, the situation remains difficult, we have to tolerate. There's no other way we can deal with this. We can't get frustrated, we can tolerate, but continue to perform devotional activities, so that our future is at least become better. Another beautiful verse, न जायते मृता वा कदाचित नायम भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयाः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोयम पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. That is not slain when the body is slain. Now clearly Krishna is talking about something that is separate from the body, and that's who is separate from the body, the one who is in possession of the body. And what is the other features of that element? That he has never taken birth, does not take birth, and will not die also. There's no death for the soul, and it doesn't come into being. And he is unborn, eternal, ever existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Biggest matter of worry for all of us is death. Nobody wants it, but nobody can escape it. However, if we can remember our true nature, that we are a spirit soul and we are not this body, which we will get, body will get destroyed eventually anyway, no matter how much hard we try to protect it, to beautify it, to decorate it, or to strengthen it, it will be lost eventually. Eventually, it will be lost. So it's not that we have to become careless about our body, because devotional service in this birth can only be performed as long as we have this body. Manusha Janama, Durlabha Manusha Janama Satsange, Tarah E Bhava Sindhure. This Manusha Janma, what does it mean? It means a soul inside a Manusha body. A soul inside Manusha body is called Manusha Janma. So Manusha Janma is extremely important. Uh, why? Because Taraha E Bhava Sindhure, using this Manusha Janma, you can cross over this Bhava Sindhu. You can go back to the spiritual world. However, so one should not be careless about one's body. One should be negligent about one's body, but one should not be attached to one's body. One should be attached to Krishna. One should be detached from the body, but which should take care of the body to the best possible way they can. But one should be detached from the body, knowing that some stage we will have to give up this body. We are not body and we will give up this body anyway. And when we are attached to Krishna, it becomes easier for us to become detached to body, detached at everything and anything that is connected with the body. So the same knowledge of Bhagavad Gita will help us get attached to Krishna and performance of devotional service towards him for his pleasure. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्ण्यानि अन्यानि संयन्ति नवानि देहि. Krishna gives example that of a person giving up old garment and accepting new. Similarly, soul accept new material body, giving up old and useless one. We should not lament for something good happening with our loved ones, or what is why a death is considered to be good, because they are going to get a new healthier body. Uh, and we should pray to Lord that Lord should give them devotional service in their new body so that they can make proper use of that new healthy body. When people become old, people become sick, uh, all their desires exist, but their capacity to enjoy at a bodily level reduces. If they have desire to eat, but they can't digest, they can't pass stool, they can't pass urine, and it becomes impossible for them to they have desire, but they just can't eat. They become scared eating. They have desire to have other bodily pleasures, but they hardly have any strength, any capacity left in them to do anything. And they may have desire to see the whole world, but they can't walk 5 steps without support. So we may have crores of desires, unlimited desires, but our bodily capacity becomes limited eventually, and it's by every passing day it reduces. It doesn't increase, it reduces, and hence we should be detached and attached to the devotional service. Should be detached from the body and attached to the devotional service, knowing that it's not the end of the journey, but one of the station in the entire journey. This body I will have to quit, but that's not end of it. I will get another body. I will get another destination. So I should be prepared for that body. And if I can remember Krishna, I can get spiritual body and I can go to the spiritual world. Again, we will get body. It's not that we will stop getting body. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu, dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. This is last verse which we'll discuss, and then we will conclude today's session. Tasma Tasmat apariharyarthe natvam shochitum arhasi. What's happening really here? जातस्य ही ध्रुवो मृत्यु, जो जन्मा है उसका मृत्यु हो अटल है, एंड जो मर चुका है, जो जिसकी मृत्यु हुई है, उसका जन्म भी अटल है. He will take birth also again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. We had a movie called Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. This verse basically confirms that we existed in past, we exist today, and we will continue to exist in different body, different form and shape. But our reincarnation is guaranteed. We are going to get a new birth after giving up this body. It's not end of road. There will be new body that we will get. Either it could be a material body if we have not perfected our life, or it could be a spiritual body if we have perfected our life and we are eligible to go back to Krishna. But we will get a body, so there will be we will continue to exist. Now, most of the Bollywood, most of this is example of a movie, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, starring some attractive looking people like Hrithik Roshan, Abhay Deol, who are actually atheist mentality, who belong to the atheist mentality. And then there are other lead actors like Katrina Kaif, Farhan Akhtar, who are Islam followers. Why they are preaching things which are untrue? When Bollywood creates a movie like this and it becomes a hit, it influences our mind. And now, who watches this? Everyone watches this. Everyone, the youth of today, when they watch this movie, they dance on those songs and acting like Hrithik Roshan's and other people. Actually, they're agreeing indirectly or directly to the philosophy that is being taught by such movie. Now, what business Bollywood has in preaching philosophy? But they have been doing this for many generations, because those who are controlling the filmmaking actually belongs to the either they are atheist, they are non-believers of God, or they belong to the Islam and Christianity. They are followers of Islam and Christianity, where this kind of preaching is done. Their philosophy kind of teaches them, it also teaches them about reincarnation, but it is not emphasized a lot because of their the condition. Not everything was taught to them, unfortunately. And but so there's no need to think that their philosophies are the highest philosophies, where the Bhagavad Gita contains so much more detailed information about reincarnation. Even today, your more than 70-80% of the population will have no faith in reincarnation. They will not believe in the reincarnation because they have been preached in this way through movies which were produced by believers of either non-believers or believers in Islam and Christianity, where this is not prominently explained. Since we forget our philosophy, we start dancing to their tunes, to the tunes of those people, and start believing in whatever they are preaching, forgetting what our scriptures tell us. Our scriptures is like a person who is in graduation, going to the fourth standard and trying to learn and believing that the fourth standard is graduation. Passing fourth standard itself is the graduation. It's not going to happen. uh, the Bhagavad Gita philosophy is so much detailed, so much superior, that it's very clearly demonstrate that there is a lower level of knowledge and higher level of knowledge that exists, and both can coexist. But one should pursue the higher reality, one should pursue the higher knowledge, and not be just satisfied with the lower level philosophy. So because we don't know our own philosophy, we start glorifying and agreeing to the philosophies taught by other religions, other religious peoples. And they've been doing it very systematically through movies. For example, a movie called Sholay has a comedy scene where it's said that Lord Shiva is speaking, and the character who is the hero, who go behind that statue and start speaking with a mic, with some bonga in his sounding differently, and then that's they created a comic scene saying that Hindu god cannot speak. So, and we all laugh seeing watching that movie. But the same movie glorify a old man who wants to go to mosque for when it's time for his prayers. Even if he loses his son, he says, he's been glorified. He continues to pray to Allah, and he's been glorified in this but same movie. This has a very subtle but definite impact on the mentality of people. That's the reason why we become blind followers of Western world, because then everything associated with our religion sounds foolish, sounds unscientific, so as to speak, and having been under the influence of these people, these movies who preached us over so many years, we now are unable to distinguish what is right and wrong. And then to save the effort, we say there is everything is too confusing. Let me not do anything, and that's how we end up becoming atheists practically. We may do some yoga, but we don't want to be called as religious people. A lot of people we meet who are allergic, they say we are allergic to religion. We don't talk us a thing about religion. But what is religion? Religions is when you have a faith, it's just an action that you do basis your faith. But what is your faith? Faith is should be in the basis the strong foundational knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And as a to execute that faith, you may do certain rituals. That is what is religion. You may perform deity worship, that is religion. But you may perform Abhishek of Lord but you don't do it in an isolated way. You do it because you're convinced that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is appearing for to give me an opportunity to serve him, so that I can purify myself, I can purify my heart, I can purify my desires, I can give up my desires for worldly enjoyment and start developing loving service attitude towards Krishna while I'm in this body, while I'm in this material world. I don't have to wait go to spiritual world to start serving there, because if I have not practiced it in here, I will find it difficult to do it there. So this is our opportunity to become eligible to go back to spiritual world, where we will be engaged in eternal loving service to the Lord. But if we have not practiced serving Lord here, what we will do by going there also we will search for which new movie has released, and we have to start serving our own senses. So that's what the process of purification is all about. We have to do things which we will do in the spiritual world while we are in the material world. You have to practice it here, and so that you become perfect your practice, and then go to spiritual world and do that eternally with the Lord. But because of wrong orientation, we will struggle. We are struggling here. We have no faith in scriptures. We have no faith in Krishna. We have no faith in the concept of God. But we take easy route out, saying everything is too confusing, let me not follow anything. Or we actually get attracted towards Islam and Christianity, and get ourselves converted. Not literally but mentally. We start wearing clothes which are worn by the Western world. We start celebrating our birthday the way Westerners celebrate. And also on so forth is indication of the fact that we are still under their influence, and we still believe what they are superior. Their superiority is mentally accepted by us, because we are now trying to wear clothes sold by foreign brands. We are trying to drive cars which are originating in foreign countries, thinking that everything, whatever they are, whatever they have, is better, superior to what we are and what we have. And by that mentality, we are also trying to follow it just doesn't remain limited to the material aspect. It comes in the cultural aspects as well. That's why we have increased divorces in our society. That's why we have increased living relationship with our society in our society. That's why we have premarital sex in our society. It's dominantly increased. It's maybe few hundred times increased than what it was 10, 20 years back. And more we will follow the West blindly, more it is going to go, more the situation is going to become worse. So that's where we are. That's how deep the Bhagavad Gita conversations are. Unfortunately, we have reached 1 p.m. So I'm going to pause here. We'll just see if there are any questions or any other comments, thoughts anyone may have to wish to express before we could conclude today's session. My apologies if I have spoken fast. I wanted to cover as many verses as possible in the second chapter because we just have one more Sunday left before our test begins. But feel free to, I'll try to complete this Word document and we'll share it with everyone so that you can go through, you can have your own comments, thoughts there, and which you can leverage while giving your assessments in the month of May. Okay, so since there are no more questions, let's conclude today's session.
Prabhuji, I have a question, sorry.
Sorry, yeah, yes, Mataji.
Is this the same thing which is affecting the mentality of the people when you are following some Western culture, doing some things which are not, as per our scriptures? People feel happy, people feel okay, and they don't object. And when you perform some devotional services, they start questioning you. Why are you doing this? This is not an age. You should not follow all these rules. It is not necessary. The food that you are avoiding has a health benefit, and so many things which are objectionable. So is it the same thing because of which it is happening?
So why people object to other people's becoming devotee can have many um, could have many reasons. A lot of people don't like to believe that others can have superior knowledge than theirs, and and you're right. Underlying mentality to enjoy is the root cause of the rejecting spiritual path, because potentially it can prevent them from doing things which they are doing today. uh, Alcohol, for example. Everyone, practically everyone in the society, male, female, children, are getting addicted to alcohol. People drink what they can afford. Some drink and die because it's not properly created or whatever. But everyone seems to be drinking, and it's become very social status. Um, it's just a matter of social status that they drink, and they talk about brands which they drink, and so it's become now. If you were to become a devotee, you will have to give up drinking alcohol. Now people say we have earned so much money, we have earned so much wealth. Now the people don't worry about eating so much. Most people in India today are able to eat twice a day, wear some clothes, and so a lot of those problems actually have eased up over years, but people are unable to give up their desires for sense gratification. And where do they get those desires from? uh, Maybe 20-30 years back, people were living a very very simple life, a very very modest life, very very content life, very very peaceful life, very very happy life. But last 2-3 generations have changed a lot of that, and because of the cities and it's got a lot to do with the Western influence, and that's why Westerners have done more damage to us than the Islamic rulers, because Islamic rulers came and destroyed deities, which were restored later. But Westerners, they came and destroyed our faith in scriptures. Now, by hard lot of effort, also that faith is not getting restored, and because that faith is not there, there is no there is. I mean, the Western world is crumbling by the so much issues that they have of their own, and we blindly following them. We are also, you know, we are also end up we'll also end up getting those their issues. We are making the same mistakes which they did. So obviously we'll get the same results as what they are getting. So that's why we see that the mental health issues are on such dominant, are on such a high rise. Every school has a psychiatric, visiting psychiatric in their in the schools. This psychiatry in my school days, this was unheard of. This was not a profession only that existed because people were actually content and happy with whatever they've had. Uh, Not that they were not trying to do better things, but they knew existence of God. They had a faith in a God. They had a faith that God will give them what they deserve. And if they're not getting it, something they were happy with whatever they were getting. But over maybe 20 years, 30 years, this has changed drastically. And this is prominent. I mean, all the prominent problems that we see today, they can be attributed to our our attraction towards Western culture and forgetting our own culture. And a lot of opposition to the practice of bhakti comes from them. Okay, Mataji?
जी जी प्रभु जी
Okay. So let's see if there are any questions in the chat box.
Hare Krishna,
So how
Prabhuji.
to
Dandavat
avoid it?
Pranam.
Only the ignorance or sharing of the knowledge? Which one is the better way to uh, deal with this?
Uh, Sharing of knowledge will definitely help when people are people yet have some piety left in them. A lot of people do have, and at times sharing of knowledge with right examples and leading by example also, that will help. It's like if somebody loses weight, somebody loses weight, then everyone go and ask them which diet plan should you follow, which was successful. It'll help you reducing your weight without losing your glow on the face, or you look healthy but still you're lost weight, and you don't look weak. So the secret, everyone wants to know other people's secret. If you become a nice devotee, you will become peaceful, you will become happy, and you will become content, you will become faithful, trustworthy person with integrity, truthful. So many wonderful qualities will you will demonstrate by default without really having to try that, and the people will take notice of that. So this is the best way of preaching, that by our own personal example we can demonstrate to people that what they cannot become, we have become. Eventually they will come and inquire that what is it that you have done. This is definitely indirect way of preaching, and all of us, if we follow Krishna consciousness sincerely, we will have opportunity to do this in our own little way, around the people, for the people to whom over whom we have little bit of influence. But giving direct instructions also help. We never know how Krishna can use us to make us instrument in bringing more souls closer to him. Especially when people go through a bad patch, a bad phase in their life, they if they have done some bhakti in past, they will be open to hearing spiritual knowledge, and that is a perfect time when we can help them come closer to Krishna. So I used to do these seminars, and we realize that a lot of people, when we speak with them, they they subscribe for the seminar on Bhagavad Gita on their lowest points in their life, when they were going through a very low patch in their life. That time they saw on the social media advertisement saying that a secret of success, or find your lost happiness, kind of a pamphlet, or a poster that came up on the Instagram, Facebook. And then they clicked on it, subscribed for it, and then attended a few classes. Some of them actually stop attending classes because the moment their situation improves, uh, they go their old way, in their old ways of doing things, because they're but that was their opportunity. I mean, whatever they've heard, whatever they have seen, whatever they have listened, whatever they have remembered, uh, to that extent they have been purified. And the next time another low point will come in their life, they will get gravitated towards Krishna consciousness. So on our at our level, we can show things by personal example, that's indirect preaching. And we should engage in direct preaching in whatever ways and means we can. And as I said, uh, helping people with compassion at their low phases definitely help us bring more people to Krishna. But we need not wait for people to experience their low phase in life. When they are in happy phase, we should try and give them Krishna as well. So no, so it's like no time is bad time. Every time is good time. So we should try and give those who are uh, inclined, will take Krishna from us, will let become we become, Krishna will make us instrument in their life. But that way, we should keep trying from our end. Okay.
Okay, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Swapnil Prabhuji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Sorry, Prabhuji, it's too late, but very quick. Today in the morning, we had visited the temple, Piramal Vaikunt Iskon temple, and we had a pravachan from Baladev Maharaj, and he explained about Bhagavatam and particularly about Parikshit Maharaj. Uh, and my question here is, Prabhuji, is Parikshit Maharaj and all great personalities had been associated with Krishna consciousness, uh, whereas still uh, you mentioned that there was a loss of knowledge when society had forgotten about Bhagavatam, and so what was that period, and was it like previously everything was pious, or and then things started deteriorating, that Krishna had to uh, come back and restore. Krishna had to come back and restore dharma into the society. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
So basically, the period of when Krishna was present was not the ideal period. Therefore, the Kurukshetra war happened and the Dharma Samsthapanarthaya that happened when Yudhishthir Maharaj became king. And that rule, he subsequently, till the Maharaj, so Parikshit Maharaj followed, he comes in his same dynasty. So, till the end of Parikshit Maharaj's rule, uh, those considered to be the golden period. And so, uh, so when Kali he meets Parikshit Maharaj, he is Parikshit Maharaj give him that tell him that you live at so Kali was to come. Eventually, Parikshit Maharaj realized that Kali has to come. So when he sees Kali, um, there's a picture. There's a beautiful this is pastime comes in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam where Kali is you know uh,
Talking to Gaumata and
talking to Gomata and a
Gaumata
bull.
and a bull,
Uh,
and then he meets Khalid over there.
correct. So that pastime he's bewildered. He says, "How can you do this in my kingdom?" And but then he realizes that Kali has to enter. He has to find some place somewhere. Then he gives him 4 places to live, and the gambling house, the brothel, the gold, and the attachment to gold. Wherever there, these 4 places, Kali Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj gives, go and stay there. Gold was not one of them. Gold he gives later, the 5th place. But Parikshit Maharaj, Kali says that there are in your kingdom no such activity is happening. So practically, I have still no place to live. And then he says you can go and reside in gold as well. That's the 5th place, and that's how he enters the kingdom of Parikshit Maharaj, and then spreads his energy. But so that is how Parikshit Maharaj. So that was that when he was ruling, that was considered to be the golden age. Eventually, Kali Yuga had to happen, and he had to depart from the planet, and we have what we have today. Okay, Raji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone for staying back, and hopefully we could we could cover some of the verses. We could cover a lot of verses, but I'll try and complete this word file so that you can do this self-reading and can get deeper insights. It's going to be a word file. Feel free to add your own points or your own bullets. Share them with me. We'll be happy to take a look at those. But this is where this is how we can internalize the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. Internalize knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and that's how we should be. That's what we are expected to do, so that our foundation becomes stronger rather than just remain superficial. And with that, let's conclude today's session. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol,
Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
pranam,
Dandavat
Hare
pranam,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Prabhuji, Dandavat pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Yeah.